So good afternoon and welcome. My name is Carmen Elias, and I'll be the reader and violist for today's event, Music on the March. We are starting after 4 p.m. and want to know why? Well, as many of you may know, this same event is happening across all 5 of New York City's boroughs at this exact moment, and it is also being live streamed. So while we can only see the people around us, we are actually gathering with people across the city and also online. For our in-person guests, please scan the QR code you see to access the text of the selections we will be performing, as well as links to important resources. The 1963 March on Washington began with the Star-Spangled Banner. We will do the same, but we will perform the 5th verse. It was written by poet Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. in response to the Civil War. With everyone's safety in mind, we ask that no one sing along to any of today's selections. We'll save our collective music making for the very end. With that, I'd like to introduce our ensemble. Alissa Jackman on violin, Phil Smith on bass, and our singer, Karmesha Peake. We hope you enjoy this lesser-known verse of a familiar song.
Land is illumined with liberty's smile. If a foe from within strike a blow at our glory, down, down with the traitor that dares to defile the flag of her stars and the page of our story. By the mailed untold, our bright light of gain, we'll keep a bright blazon forever unstained, and the star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave, while the land of the free is the home of the brave.
The poet Holmes wrote this new verse in response to the Civil War, to an America that was divided by fundamentally different value systems. We aren't in a civil war now, but there are many struggles and challenges that our country currently faces. Any glance at a newspaper will tell you as much. The challenge that we invite you to tackle for the next 10 days is to activate voting in your community. Oliver Wendell Holmes wrote those words in 1861. 1963, just over 100 years later, 250,000 people gathered in Washington, D.C. to demand that the Star-Spangled Banner, to whom we pledge allegiance, pledge allegiance back to all of us. Unlocking the vote will be the first step towards realizing this promise. Let's review the hows of voting, because 2020 has changed what voting may look like for each of us. Please note that all of this information is available in the voting FAQ, which is on our digital program. You have 3 pathways to vote this year: voting early, voting by mail, and voting in person on Election Day. Let's start with early voting. Early voting is just like voting on Election Day, except you can avoid crowds and long lines. For this year's general election, early voting started today and runs until Sunday, November 1st. Your early voting site is often different from your usual Election Day poll site. So find your early voting site and hours at findmypollsite.vote.nyc. Absentee voting, better known as vote by mail, is done in 2 steps. First, you must request your absentee ballot. If you haven't already done so, we recommend you do this as soon as possible. The deadline is this upcoming Tuesday, October 27th, but the earlier, the better. Request a ballot at nycabsentee.com, and it will be mailed to wherever is best for you. Once you've filled out your ballot, you can mail it back using 2 first-class stamps or hand deliver it to your Borough Board of Elections office, an early voting site, or at your regular poll site on Election Day. Make sure to sign your inner envelope to ensure your vote is counted. If you want to vote on Election Day, just Tuesday, November 3rd, poll sites are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. We're expecting high turnout, so lines may be long. If you're worried about crowds, vote early and make sure you wear a mask. So let's take a moment to reflect on this incredible right and responsibility which we possess. A right which many Americans have not enjoyed until most recently, and which continues to be suppressed in many communities across the country. In 1963's March on Washington, Marian Anderson performed "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands," and we'll revisit the spiritual right now.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the big round world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the sun and the moon right in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the gambling man in his hands. He's got the lying man in his hands. He's got the crapshoot man in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got that little itsy baby in his hands. He's got the tiny little baby right in his hands. He's got that little itsy baby in his hands. He's got the whole in his hands. He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. He's got you and me right in his hands. He's got you and me, sister, in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got everybody in his hands. He's got everybody in his hands. He's got everybody
One of our goals for this event is to make sure that not only all of our in-person and virtual attendees commit to voting, but that you could also help get out the vote in your communities and beyond. First, take care of your voting plan. We share 3 pathways to voting: voting by mail, voting early and in person, and voting in person on Election Day. Now, you have to decide how, when, and where you'll be voting. Remember that if you're voting early, look up where you can do so and the hours. If you're voting by mail, make sure you send it back with 2 stamps or drop it off at a Board of Elections office or any early voting or Election Day poll site. If you're voting in person on Election Day, lines will be long, so budget for more time and make sure that you have a mask. Once you've figured out these details, tell the world how you will be voting. Post it on social media with the hashtags #WeAreVoters, #WeAreNewYorkers, and #TheDreamUnfinished. And make sure that all the people you know are also sharing their voting plans. In 2008, researchers found that voting plans increased voter turnout of single eligible voter households by 9 percentage points. So let's get out the vote by making a voting plan today. Check in with your friends and family. As we all know, the pandemic is impacting our day-to-day lives. So find out if there are people around you who need help getting around or would prefer to have their mail-in ballot hand-delivered so you could drop it off for them. If you can, be part of someone else's voting plan. NYC Votes has even set up Vote Smart, a free service that sends you email or text updates and reminders on voting deadlines and important dates, so you can sign up and get your people signed up too. Find ways of sharing information. The Campaign Finance Board has a voter guide which profiles the candidates for each local office. You can even watch candidate debates, and there's one coming up on October 29th. Democracy NYC has a detailed FAQ for New York City specific voting, and you can contact the Campaign Finance Board, Democracy NYC, and the Board of Elections for any questions you may have. Lastly, if you love talking to strangers, there are tons of ways to help get out the vote across the city and the country. So get involved with Democracy NYC to help your fellow New Yorkers and sign up for text or phone banking in the links that are included in your program. So you have what you need. You're on your way. To motivate you for the next 10 days, we'll circle back to the 1963 march when Odetta sang, "I'm on my way."
I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, hey, I'm on my way. Gonna ask my brother, wanna come with me? Gonna ask my brother, won't you come with me? Gonna ask my brother, won't you come with me? I'm on my way, hey, I'm on my way. Gonna ask my captain, won't you go with me? Gonna ask my captain, my captain. Won't you let me go? I'm on my way. Oh, I'm on my way. If he says no, 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 I'll go anyhow. If he says no, 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 gonna go anyhow. If he says no, gonna go anyhow. I'm on my way. Hey, I'm on my way. I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way. Hey, I'm on my way.
We started this event with the Star-Spangled Banner. And as we mentioned, those alternate lyrics were written in response to the Civil War, a time when our union was brittle and nearly cracked in half. Now, we aren't on a battlefield, but our country is crisscrossed with fault lines of ideology, so no matter how it turns out, there will be some who are disappointed by the outcomes of these races. We must remember that with more votes by mail, many elections won't be finalized until after these ballots have been processed and counted. Some people are concerned their ballot may not get counted in the first place. And for this, you should know that you can track your ballot after the election. More information is available in your program. While the gravity of this election presses on, we must remember that all elections are impactful, whether they are national, state, or local. Every year, your rights and your community's welfare are waiting for you in the ballot box. And every year, you can vote for the change you want to see around you. If you wake up on November 4th dispirited, remember that this historic and staggering moment is a point in a longer arc of history. We're approaching the next chapter of the great American story with more resources and potential than any generation before us, to build an America that Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Ida B. Wells, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., John Lewis, and so many others believed was possible. We will close with an excerpt from Senator Lewis's final printed words. And then we will begin our citywide musical performance. So please get your instruments out and join in when you're ready. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being an instrument for change. So now this is where you would actually repeat after me. So repeat after me and please speak softly. John Lewis said, "Voting and participating in the democratic process are key." Okay. You must use it because it is not guaranteed.
You must use it because it is not guaranteed.
You can lose it.
You can lose it.
You must also study and learn the lessons of history.
You must also study and learn the lessons of history.
People on every continent have stood in your shoes.
People on every continent have stood in your shoes.
Through decades and centuries before you.
Through decades and centuries before you.
The truth does not change.
The truth does not change.
And that is why the answers worked out long ago.
And that is why the answers worked out long ago.
Can help you find solutions to the challenges of our time.
Can help you find solutions to the challenges of our time.
Continue to build union between movements.
Continue to build union between movements.
Stretching across the globe.
Stretching across the globe.
Though I may not be here with you,
Though I may not be here with you,
I urge you to answer the highest calling of your heart.
I urge you to answer the highest calling of your heart.
And stand up for what you truly believe.
And stand up for what you truly believe.
In my life, I have done all I can.
In my life, I have done all I can
to demonstrate that the way of peace,
the way of peace,
the way of love, and nonviolence is the more excellent way. Now, it is your turn to let freedom ring.
Now it is your turn to let freedom ring. that we shall overcome someday. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. We shall stand together. We shall stand together. We shall stand together now. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
So early voting started, so get the vote out.
Yes.